Good morning and Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I warmly welcome all of you to the episode number 13 of College Research Committee's series of webinars on fundamentals of research, the topic for which is career opportunities for doctors in UK/Ireland. My name is Mohammed Umar Afridi, and I'm a second-year medical student and the Assistant Director of Team Coordination and Student Research Committee at KMC, and I will be your moderator for today. We are thrilled and excited to have all of you dive into this vital topic with our esteemed speaker, Dr. Majid Khan. This is the 13th webinar of our webinar series and pre-conference activities leading up to the third International Research Conference by the SRC KMC. This resulted from a collaborative effort between the Postgraduate Medical Institute and the College Research Committee. This event was made possible through the dedicated efforts of Dr. Rubina, Chairperson CRC, Dr. Iqbal Haider, Chairperson of Research Committee, Dr. Jahan Hassan, Chairperson SRC, and Dr. Ziauddin, PGMI's focal person. Additionally, it aligns with the vision of our Honorable Dean, Professor Dr. Mahmood Aurangzeb, who champions the advancement of medical education and research. Dear participants, before we begin, I'd like to go over a few basic ground rules so that we may have smooth proceedings and to help you have the best of experience. Number one, to receive CME accreditation, please ensure that you attend the entire webinar. Our team will be monitoring attendance and we will be sharing a feedback form at the end in this regard. Make sure to fill that out. Number two, you are all instructed to join with your real names for the purpose of certificate awarding. Number three, we strive to maintain a respectful and polite environment. Please be courteous and professional in your interactions. Number four, ensure that you have a stable and secure internet connections. It is preferable to use a laptop or desktop for best experience. Number five, our team will keep your microphone muted when listening to the session to minimize background noise. Number six, there will be a question and answer session at the end of the webinar. You are requested to speak your questions, before which it is advised to use the raise hand option. Alternatively, you can simply type your question in the chat box as a direct message to the moderator, and we will address them one at a time. Finally, the webinar is being recorded for future reference. By attending, you consent to being recorded. Now, it is my great pleasure to introduce our conversant speaker, Dr. Majid Khan. Dr. Majid is a distinguished GP registrar and leading expert currently practicing in Ireland. Dr. Majid brings a wealth of experience and knowledge about navigating international career paths in the medical field. His perspectives will provide valuable guidance and inspire you as you consider the possibilities of expanding your professional horizons beyond the borders. Dr. Majid, thank you and welcome. Without further ado, I would like to hand over the session to the speaker. Dr. Majid, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, Umar, and thanks for the kind introduction as well. Assalamu alaikum everyone and good afternoon. So today we'll talk about career opportunities in Ireland and also in UK as well. I'll be talking more about Ireland as well because I'm living and working in Ireland, but we'll also touch few important topics regarding like career opportunities in the UK as well. So as Omar said, I'm currently working as a GP registrar. I'm in last year of training in the GP training, which is also called like the family medicine in some other countries. I've been also being a lead and for the session 2023 and 24 as well. So I've been a graduate of Khyber Medical College, and Dr. Iqbal Haider was one of my supervisors as well. So just move the slide. So just a disclaimer, first of all, so this session is not sponsored. I don't have any conflict of interest to declare. And again, I'm not an expert in dealing with any job opportunities, anything like that, but I will share my own experience as well, like what are the possible opportunities you can look into Ireland and then the UK as well. And I will share my own personal journey as well. Of course, you can also reflect and learn from that as well. So first of all, I'll just go through the learning objectives of today's session. So we will identify the key pathways for the medical careers in Ireland and UK. We'll also talk about the employment landscape and opportunities. And we will try to understand what are the working conditions and benefits for doctors who are working in Ireland and UK as well. So first of all, I would just ask everyone if they can scan this code on if they're logging through their tablets or laptops, so they can just scan it from their camera as well through the mobile phone. If they're logging from the mobile phone, they can log into menti.com. I will put in the chat as well and use the code 13848335, which is written in the top here as well of the presentation. And you can just answer the question that do you want to move abroad? I just have put 3 questions just to get an idea as well, like of the audience, what are their perceptions are, and then I can align my presentation according to that. So you can visit menti.com and then you can put the code 13848335. So we just say wait for a minute and then we can move on. So you can visit menti.com and then you can put the code 13848335. I'm trying not to log out as well because there are a few more questions coming in from the same menti.com using the same code as well. Even just in case if you log out as well, that's okay. You can join back by menti.com and then again use the same code as well. Okay, so I'm seeing as well, it's like majority of the people want to move abroad. Some of them were undecided as well. So this shows a little bit as well that what we should be focusing more as well. Okay, it's okay, Amor. I will move to the next question. So I get an idea as well, like majority is of ideas to move abroad as well. So that's a good that this session is especially for the same purpose as well. So I'll just move to the next question and then you can answer the next question as well. I just a little bit of just want to know as well that why do you want to move abroad as well, so that I can also answer the questions regarding that as well. If there's any specific reason, like for professional reason, or do you want to train abroad, or it's because of the financial issues do you want to move abroad, or do you want to move abroad for any better lifestyle? You can just put one word as well, like you want to because of professional reasons. Do you want to for the training? You can just put a word in. And there is no right and wrong answers, so all of them, yeah, especially like work-life balance, financial reasons, is very appropriate as well. We just give 20 seconds more and then we can move on. And I will touch a little bit on the financial part as well in my presentation. I think it's mostly financial, better lifestyle, work-life balance, better exposure, very valid as well. You see a lot of new things over here as well, not only in the work, but out of the work as well. Very good. Thank you very much for everyone. And I just move to the next. I think this will be the last question for now, and then I have a few more at the end of the session then. And just to let you know, what is your current job as well? Like you're a medical student, or you are like working as a house officer or a registrar, or you're faculty, anything like that as well. Just have a little bit of idea that what's company the audience, so that I should be focusing more in that perspective. It's mostly medical students and house officer, very good. Postgraduate resident, assistant professor, final year student, the jobless, of course. And he has a good job as well. You're a student, so that's more than PGMI cardiology, very good. That's it's very important for the medical students, and for every grade it's very important as well. Because like when I was a medical student in Khyber Medical College, and then and I was as a house officer as well, so I didn't know much about Ireland opportunities and the UK as well. Maybe if I knew before as well, I might have moved before, or maybe not. So it's a good idea that you know your options as well while you're in the medical profession, so that you can take an informed decision and you can take a decision on time as well. Again, there's like no right or wrong answers. Everyone's circumstances are different as well. Not everyone can move abroad. Very good. Okay, so we have like a composition from from medical student to faculty as well. Thank you very much for everyone. So I will just share a little bit of my journey as well, and you might reflect on that as well, and you might learn a few new things as well. Like I'm just sharing my own journey as well, because it will be more practical that what I have been through, and some of you might have been through the same thing as well, and you can learn from that. Like for example, what you can encounter as well while you're moving all through this journey as well. So I said earlier as well, like I've done my graduation from Khyber Medical College, and then I completed my FCPS training in Khyber Teaching Hospital and Medical Award with Dr. Iqbal Haider said award as well. So I worked 4 years there, and then after completion of my training, I moved to Ireland, and then I came back again as well to clear my FCPS final examination as well. And then I moved back again after doing FCPS in general medicine. I think it was in 2019. While looking for the job as well, so I just tell about different jobs as well, so that you should know as well what could be the different opportunities in Ireland as well. So the first job which I got was in the medical college in Trinity College Dublin, because I have a little bit of experience working as a lecturer at Mount Medical College. And again, I have research experience. I've published few publications and case reports as well. So that helped me a lot. Was also involved in arranging OSCEs along with medical award faculty as well. OSCEs for final year medical students as well. So that gave me a little better CV as well to get a job in Trinity College Dublin, which is Trinity School of Medicine, as a clinical tutor registrar. But there as well, my visa got rejected, unfortunately. Then I moved to the next job. I lost that job, so I joined as a resident medical officer, which is also as a medical registrar job in Cork, one of the counties of Ireland. Then my visa was accepted. I will tell you the reason later on why the visa was rejected as well. Then I got the job. I moved abroad, and then while working in Cork as well, so still like I have a lot of like interest in medical education and research as well. So I was still looking for some academic job or mixed kind of job as well, like clinical or both academic as well. So I got a job. I was academic job at Trinity School of Medicine, and also got a job as a clinical tutor registrar / medical registrar, like a dual job as well, dual responsibility, both academic and clinical, and in one of those counties of Ireland, which is called Sligo. Then it was a tough decision what to decide between the two. So the learning part over here as well, like that, the first job, academic job in Trinity School of Medicine was in Dublin. So in Dublin, the rent costs are quite expensive. You can say like more than 3 times than in Sligo. It's one of the practical points as well, because like could be affordability issues as well. You might have a family with you. So you should be looking at the financial part as well when you're accepting a job. Should know as well that what will be your salary and then how much will be your cost as well, especially if you're moving with a family. So at that point I have like wife and one daughter. So it was not very financially possible for me, because in academic job you can't do like overtime as well. So that the reason was like I dropped the job of academic job in Trinity School of Medicine. I joined as a clinical tutor registrar, medical registrar at Sligo. And afterwards, like everyone, main aim is to get into the training job, being in Ireland or UK as well. Most of the overseas doctors who come to Ireland try to get into training in the Ireland, which is a little bit difficult to get into Ireland as compared to UK. So I was in the same boat as well. So I tried to get a training job in Ireland, but at the same time I was looking in the UK as well. So I got a standalone job in UK. At the same point, I got a GP training slot in Ireland and also in the UK as well. So I was already like spent 3 years in Ireland as well. So at that point, I decided to go into a training job in Ireland instead of going to the UK and start from point zero again as well. So it's like a bit of my short journey. So this is the map of the island. So you can see as well that is like one is on the south you can see is Ireland only, and on the north you can see the Northern Ireland. Some people might confuse as well, like Ireland is one island, but there's like two islands as well. The one that I'm living is the Republic of Ireland, and on the north you can see it's the Northern Ireland, which is actually the part of the UK. So I started, my first job was in Cork in the south, you can see. And then I moved to Limerick for a short period of time. Then I moved to Sligo, went up to Sligo, went up more to the north as well to Letterkenny, which is County Donegal. And currently I'm working at, you can see the D as well. I'm just at the top of the island at the moment as well. It is I'm working in one of the GB practices for GB surgery, which is name is called Clonmany. So you can see as well, like worked like across the island as well. So it gave me a lot of good experience as well. Just like you should be ready as well. But Ireland is a very small country as well, like which is like 5 times less than the Pakistan as well. If you look at the square kilometers of Ireland as well. So maybe a lot of people might know as well what's the eligibility criteria to work in Ireland, but especially for the medical student who still doesn't know, or a little bit confused as well, or we can just refresh the knowledge as well. So what's eligibility to work in Ireland? Of course, you should have like Irish Medical Council registration. Like in Pakistan, you need to have a Pakistan Medical Dental Council registration as well, the PMDC. And how to get a registration in Ireland. So one of the things like they changed a little bit of laws as well in getting the registration. Before you have to do the press exam. Now you like it was like a PLAB exam as well. But in Ireland, if you have internship, which has been commenced from 1st of January 2019, 2009, and then you have some specific rotations as well in Pakistan. So then you're eligible to work in Ireland, and you can get the general registration as well. So one of the criteria is that your internship, which is also called, like we call it the house job in Pakistan, it should be commenced after January 2009. And the second important criteria is English language requirement. So there is like, you can either go for IELTS and you should have overall score of 7. But each criteria in other modules, each criteria should be at least, you have a score of at least 6.5, like in speaking, writing, reading, and speaking. So otherwise you can get OAT as well. So criteria is like at each module you should have at least B. What I have found myself as one of my personal experience that OAT is a little bit easier than IELTS, but it is a little bit more expensive as well than IELTS as well. So like I have taken IELTS as well, but I never crossed 6.5 in the written module. But when I have done OAT on the first attempt, like I got A in the writing, so which I found is a little bit easier, especially for the medical students or for the medical professional people, because the OAT will be asking the question which could be related to some medical stuff, whilst in IELTS they will be asking you to write an essay or to give like write your reflection about like a purse or bags or something very random stuff as well, which we're lacking a lot of vocabulary to use in that. So I think that's the reason that we are a little bit of disadvantage in IELTS. And OAT, like in my written module, was to write a letter to one of the other doctors as well. So it was easier to write a letter as well as compared, because you will be using the medical terminologies as well. So I think it's a little bit easier. So you can look as well if you're stuck with IELTS, I will advise to go for OAT. I think if you're attempting 2 or 3 times in IELTS, I think the fees will be less than if you attempt just one OAT as well. Just briefly about the eligible internship, what are the rotation you should be going with, which are eligible for the general registration? At least you should have 3 months of rotation in general medicine and at least 3 months in general surgery. So that's mandatory. That should be there as well. Normally in KTH, like I have done like 3 months of rotation. So my own rotation was like 3 months in general medicine, 3 months in general surgery, 3 months in cardiology and 3 months in pediatric surgery. So that was quite easy to get onto the general registration. But the main thing is none of the rotation should be less than 2 months or more than 4 months. So that should be kept in mind as well. So whenever you're making experience certificate, the first certificate should be getting from your own hospital. And the same experience certificate, you have to submit it to PMDC so they can give you issue an experience certificate that you'll be submitting to Irish Medical Council. I've seen a lot of people are making the experience certificate in the wrong way, and then they end up don't get the registration as well. So just make sure about going to the Irish Medical Council website. All the information is there. I just put it there so that you can know. And this is also I have taken from the Irish Medical Council website as well. And then I have put in my resources, the links as well. So you can see like anesthesia, in medicine, you can see cardiology, dermatology, endocrinology, gastroenterology. There's different specialties which are recognized specialties in Ireland as well. In the surgery, you can see cardiothoracic surgery, general surgery, and then you can see pediatric surgery, which I have done in pediatric surgery as well. So that is the first point of getting registration in Irish Medical Council. That you'll be wondering how to come to Ireland. So basically, there are like two main routes, like the CPSP route, or you can apply directly. So you can see on the CPSP website as well if you're in the training already, like if you're in the first year or the second year of the training as well. After passing IMM, you can move to Ireland, and then you can do, for example, if you have like 4 years training or general medicine, you can do 2 years in Pakistan and then 2 years in Ireland. And it's a good part and bad part as well. That the good thing is that your everything will be very streamlined as well, like getting Irish Medical Council registration. Going to Ireland, they will give you a proper induction session as well. You will be welcomed. It will be like, and then there will be one supervisor in Ireland and one in Pakistan as well. Will be keeping an eye on you during this training, 2 years of training as well. But one of the drawback is that you have to come back to Pakistan. You won't be eligible to work for 1 year in Ireland after having spent 2 years in Ireland as well. So you won't be able to work in Ireland for 1 year, but because like when you get registration, you get a general registration, not the general registration, you get a special type of registration as well. So they will know if you're getting into the job again as well in Ireland. So they will know that you have spent 2 years and you shouldn't be working in Ireland for 1 year, which is a little bit different from UK. In UK, you can work, you can stay there and you can work as well, but you shouldn't be working because the CPSP will be signing a kind of like agreement with you as well that you have to come back to Pakistan, and fairly you should come back to Pakistan, work for a while in Pakistan, then you can go back to Ireland or UK as well. So this was the CPSP route as well. So I applied through the CPSP route, but I was not shortlisted. I didn't get through the CPSP route, but at the same time, I've already started. So you should be sitting for the CPSP route as well. You should start. The first step will be clearing your English language exam and then apply directly as well. So I already, like when I was applying for the CPSP route as well, I already had my Irish Medical Council registration done. So I just waited for my FCPS training to be completed, and then I moved abroad. So you can choose whatever suits you. Just go quickly towards what are the different categories of the job in Ireland. It's a little bit different as well. You can see the internship is actually, we call it like internship in Ireland. But in Pakistan, it is actually house job, we call it like it's a house officer. In Ireland, house officer is actually, you can say, like as a first year or second year trainee medical officer, you can say, or a medical officer in Pakistan. And then you have to move, like it's usually for 1 to 2 years, you will be as a house officer. And then you will be eligible after spending 2 years as a house officer to move towards the registrar job. The registrar will be like a senior trainees in Pakistan as well. And then there's like two type of registrar as well. You can be either in the non-training scheme or you'll be in the training scheme as well. So if you're in the non-training pathway, you'll be called a registrar. But if you're in the training pathway, you'll be called like a specialist registrar. In other ways, you can say I'm a specialist registrar in the general practice. And there are other qualifications, like other categories of the job as well, like the fellowship, which is usually done after completion of the training. And other is like general practitioner. becoming after the training, you can become a general practitioner as well. There's other pathways as well to become a general practitioner. I will go through that later on. But like in other words, like in UAE or in Middle East countries, they are called like family medicine consultants. Or you can become a consultant, which is like the hospital based specialties as well. So they're called consultant. So when I came in Ireland as well, so I was a little bit confused about like what they're called interns in the hospital. So interns is actually the house officers who just graduate from the medical schools as well. So they're called interns. And the house office is actually not the house job doctors. Like they're actually you can say like a first year medical trainees. And again, there's two categories. One, you can work as a house officer as a standalone job, or you can work like a non-training job. We call it like standalone job, or you can work as a pathway of the training as well. Again, you will be looking where to look for the jobs. There's different ways to look for the jobs as well. One of them is the HSE website. Again, I have put the link at the end of this presentation as well. So this is the main HSE website. So a lot of the hospitals advertise their jobs on this website. On the left side, you can see as well, there's a different jobs like management, admin, and then there is a medical and dental. When you click on this, you can see non-HSE dental consultants, and then like non-consultant hospital doctors, actually SHO and registrar, which other words they also call it like NCHDs. NCHD just stand for the same like non-consultant hospital doctors, which are actually SHOs and registrar. So I've taken this recently. You can see like there's one registrar job in medical assessment unit in Nina Hospital, and there's like a first year medical registrar job. Between that first year that you have done 2 years as a house officer, you're eligible to become a first year medical registrar. And there's another job you can see as a house officer or registrar. They're looking for either of them in psychiatry. CAMS is actually child and adolescents mental health services, and there's another registrar is needed in NS as well. It's one of the countries. You can click on these and then you can see what are their requirements and how to apply as well. So this is one of the website. Majority of jobs are advertised here as well. But there are some other websites as well that some of the hospitals just advertise on their websites. They don't advertise on the HSE website as well. You should be looking here as well, because some of the people are just looking at the HSE website and they're not looking at this website as well. So my first job, which I got in Ireland, actually I went through this website. This is like one of the hospitals, one of the non-acute hospitals in County Cork. So I got actually job from here when I went over here as well. So you can see there's like one registrar in ophthalmology. They need it in Cork as a full time. So what I used to do is when I just put into Google as well, put into Google and search hospitals in Ireland, you will get a lot of lists as well. And then you can click on their websites and go to their websites and go to their careers or job listing or vacancies option. And you can look at the job there as well. So you should be looking at HSE. And again, you should be looking directly at the different hospital websites as well. Not every hospital has their own website as well, but some of them have as well. So they will be advertising in their own website as well. So you should be looking at that. Again, there is also, you can work in the private hospitals. So in the private hospitals, they will not put on the HSE because that's the public website. So the private hospital, like a Meta private hospital, it is like in different counties, in Dublin, Cork as well. And you can look the vacancies and on the private hospital website as well. They have there's a good points and bad points about working in a private hospital. The good thing is like the pay is a little bit more than the public hospitals. But the con is that you won't be working that independently that you used to work in the public hospital as well. So it will be like working more towards like working like admin or doing the discharge letters. So you will be a little bit less hand-on experience when you're working in the private hospital. But it's a good start that you can start in the private hospital and then you can move to the public hospital just in case if you're struggling to get a job in Ireland. And there is other vacancies as well. Usually the people doesn't know about the university jobs. So these jobs will not be advertised on the HEC website as well. So this is how I got my first job in Ireland, which was I couldn't get the visa. So there's like the Trinity College Dublin, so you can see there as well. So there's like a Trinity College Dublin has like Trinity School of Medicine as well. So you can look into the job as well. Like the job for me was as a clinical tutor registrar. The good thing is like you will have you get a lot of like it's like number one college in Dublin as well. It's like a fifth or sixth number in Europe as well. So it looks very good on the CV as well if you have worked in the Trinity College Dublin. And the downside is that when you got the job there as well, so they will ask you to come to Ireland before issuing any work permit to come there in person for the ID check. So that's why when I applied there, I got the job, but they said to come in person there before they issue any work permit, to have like verification of my ID as well and my documents. So when I applied for the visa, so you should be applying as a visitor visa. You can't apply like a work job, like a job visa. So that was the point as well, that my visa was refused as well, because like a lot of a lot of people are not applying for these vacancies as well. So the visa officers also not 100% sure as well about this pathway, and they're a little bit reluctant as well when you're coming as a visitor to meet one of the HR people here as well. They're a little bit more reluctant whether you will go back or not. So this is one of the drawbacks as well about this. But if you're working in Ireland already, so it's very easy to get these jobs as well. And that's the next job when I got in Trinity College. So it was very easy as well. I just went there for the ID check and there was no problem. So there's one of the downside, but there's no harm in applying to these vacancies, especially if you're interested in going towards a little bit more academic or research path as well. There's another university you can see, University Hospital, University of Galway, which is usually with the Galway University Hospital. And you can also apply there as well, like in lecturer or something like that. You can see one of the job here as well, like lecturer in intern education, like you'll be teaching to the interns. So this is one of the opportunities available as well. So I'm just sharing this because some of the people won't know that there will be other jobs as well, and there will be a little bit less competition on these jobs as well, because a lot of people doesn't know about these jobs. Just a few things about the training steps. So, but as well, if just in case if you want to get into the training, so some of the specialties will have two steps as well, like a basic specialist training, which is called the BST, which is also like SHO job. Like for example, if you're working in, which is they are also called like senior house officers or SHOs. So SHOs, I said as well, there are two parts, like there's two pathways as well, non-training and the training. So the non-training are just called house officers, and the training are called like BSTs, BST SHOs. So you're working as a 2 years there, and then you have to move towards higher specialist training. But the BST is, again, it's very hard to go into BST. But if you go into BST, the main thing will be whether you will be able to go into HST or not. So a lot of people, like a lot of I see a lot of overseas doctors has been able to go into basic specialist training. But there's like a general medicine training, like you have GIM training. But when on HST, when they were applying to gastroenterology or cardiology or other specialties, so they were unable to get that. So again, like a lot of BSTs has just moved to UK or somewhere else as well, because they were unable to get the training. So you're just working as a standalone registrar afterwards after the BST. And there are other like some streamlined specialties as well. There's no concept of BST, HST. Both of them are like together. For example, like psychiatry, or for example, like a GP registrar as well. So like a GP pathway as well. So you can work straight from 4 to 6 years. So how to get into the training? A training job, I already touched on that a little bit as well. So hospital-based specialties like gastroenterology or cardiology or anesthesia or anything like that, they're more difficult to get into training because they will prefer Irish and EU doctors over the non-EU nationals. So, but no matter how much you score good in interview or in the exam, if you score 100 and the non-EU score 50, so the 50 score will be put ahead of you if you score 100 as well. So that's why it's very difficult as well, because there's less specialties and the applications are more. For example, if they're like 50, they need 50 trainees in gastroenterology, applications will be 75 will be Irish and EU nationals. So automatically non-EU nationals will be knocked out there as well. So that's why it is a bit difficult to go into hospital-based specialties. But I've seen some of the Pakistanis were able to get into hospital-based specialties, but it was especially when they got the Irish citizenship as well. And the other pathway is like a lot of trend is nowadays in Ireland is to go into GP pathway. It's a little bit more easier nowadays. But again, it is getting harder on every year. It's getting more competitive as well because a lot of like, especially from Pakistan and South Asia or other countries as well, so they're becoming more aware of it. When I moved to Ireland, I didn't know about the GP pathway at all. I came to know as well like when I was like in I spent like 2 or 3 years in Ireland as well. Only then I knew okay, it's one of the specialist pathway as well. Because in Pakistan we think like a GP is like you can work as a GP. In Pakistan, just after like your house job, you can work as a GP. But in Ireland, it's a little bit different as well. It's like a specialty. You have to be properly trained, and then you can work in a proper as a general practitioner as well. But there's a lot of trend. A lot of Pakistanis are getting into the GP training pathway now. So, what is the GP pathway? So there's like 4 years total in training. So 2 years you work in the hospital. In different, you will be rotated during specialties as well. So you'll be working as a senior house officer. So I would train in 1 year in GIM, and then I got like 4 months in Ops Gynae, 4 months in pediatrics, and 4 months in psychiatry as well. That's very important as well for the GP study to be trained in other because I have a lot of experience in GIM. Maybe I didn't need any more training in GIM, but it was part of the training. But I didn't have any experience in peds, Ops Gynae, and then in pediatrics as well. That you will be expected when you become a GP to deal with these patients as well. And then when you work 2 years in the hospital, then you have to work 2 years in the GP. We call it like a GP such as like one of the general practice in the community. You'll be working 2 years in the general practice community, in the community for 2 years, and you'll be called like a special registrar or registrar. And after 2 years, you will become like a GP consultant then, and you can work independently. So how to get into GP pathway? I have already put a link as well about ICGP website, which is Irish College of GPs. So you have to go through a theory exam first, and then you have to appear in the interview. I'm not going into very detail of everything. Everything is available on the website as well. But if you want any further information as well, you can always email me. I have put my email at the end as well, so you can get into the more depth as well if you want to know about the GP pathway. So just like recently, we have conducted like enhanced induction program for the GP trainees who were international medical graduates. And we asked all the participants in that as well that they should put a small dot there as well, red dot you can see on the map as well. So where is this origin, where they have their primary medical qualification. So you can see on the map as well, there's a lot of trainees, like majority of them are from Pakistan here as well. There's one from India, there's one from here as well, and there's one from Australia, South Africa, a few of them South Africa, there's two from Canada, two of them from Britain, Spain as well. So, but you can see there's a lot of friends coming from Pakistan as well. So you can look at that as well. I have met two of the doctors there as well who came directly on the GP training pathway from Pakistan without have worked at all in Ireland. And some of them have been getting the GP training just working like 6 months or something. So that's like one of the pathways as well. And it could be another pathway as well to get into the GP in Ireland as well, which is a new system. It is a new pathway as well, which is called like an International Medical Graduate Rural GP program. So you can come into this program as well. You'll be working as a GP registrar directly for 2 years in one of the rural areas of Ireland with one of the GPs. And then you have to clear the 2 exams, which is one of the theory exam and the clinical exam. Then you will get MICGP with that. Like it's MRCGP in UK, it's MICGP in Ireland. And then you can go onto the special registration, so you will become a GP consultant as well. But there's like few eligibility criteria as well. Like one of them, is the primary medical degree should be outside of Ireland. And you should have worked as a full-time for 3 years in general practice. And at least you should have worked 3 months in peds and at least 3 months in general medicine. That's mandatory as well. And again, there's other eligibility criteria. You can read that later on as well, that you should have a proof of medical indemnity for 3 years in general practice. Proof and medical indemnity is a medical insurance as well, just in case if anything goes wrong as well. So there's one of your identifiers as well who can vouch for you if there is any damages or anything like that, so they can look into that as well. So that's important as well. That's easy that you can get as well. There's a lot of cost involved with that, but that you can get it easily as well. So the main thing is Irish, you should be eligible to get Irish Medical Council registration. You should have again in the internship should be eligible to apply for that. You should have English language test, and then you should have 3 years in total experience. At least 3 months should be in general medicine and peds. I personally, if you tell me to go on this scheme directly, I don't like this too much as well especially for Pakistani graduates, because I'm working as a GP registrar Lead as well. So I'm dealing with a lot of women's health as well. And over here as well, you can see like in Pakistan, we don't have good experience in dealing with the women's health as well, and especially with the pregnant woman as well, if they're looking for contraceptions. And so if you don't have experience in obs-gynae as well, so that could be a little bit tricky, and especially if you don't have too much experience in the peds as well, because a peds is a little bit different when you're working in Ireland and Pakistan and working in Ireland as well. So you're expected a little bit high to do a little bit more in the GP surgery as well. Because we deal a lot of pregnant ladies as well, a lot of PV bleeding stuff as well. So if you're not competent in that, so that could be a lot very tricky as well, because you'll be expected to handle these cases in the GP surgery without referring to the specialist as well. So we refer the patients, which is absolutely necessary, but we deal a lot of them as well, starting the contraception, dealing with initial stages of PV bleeding, and dealing with a lot of kids as well. We send if they're only hemodynamically unstable. Pediatric patients, we only send these patients to the hospital as well. So this could be a little bit of tricky as well, because I know one of the registrars who came here as well on this scheme as well. So he has to quit in the first week as well, because he was too overwhelmed with this, and he was not expecting what type of cases he would be seeing as well. But just in case but see, I have seen some people are coming on this pathway and they're quite happy. But you should look at your skills, what are your skills are, and you should know that what you're getting into, and what type of cases you will be looking at, what kind of support you will have as well. So you can look into this pathway as well, but I won't recommend too much on this. It's just a small video as well. I hope it works. Just to give a little bit perspective of the general practice. I don't know if the audience can hear that or not.
Sir, it's not audible. I think you should remove the headphones, then it would be audible.
Yeah, I'm changing that. I'm just putting in the start. So.
I think the attractions of being a general practitioner is that it's very flexible.
Yeah, they can hear now, Martha, right?
Yes, sir.
I think the attractions of being a general practitioner is that it's very flexible. You can choose your working hours. You can also choose what you want to work in. So if there's an area that you're more interested in, you can choose to specialize more in that area. And I suppose you also have the flexibility about where you want to live. So if you want to work in a more urban center, you can. If you want to work more rural, you can as well.
Anything can walk through that door, be it mental health issues, be it an infection, be it addiction. It doesn't matter. You still have to cope with what's coming through the door, and you get a certain amount of heads up, but most of the time you don't get a heads up as to what somebody's presenting with, which is fun. It's interesting. It keeps you awake. It keeps you alert. It stops you falling into a routine that you're not happy with.
The big thing is that you train in so many different areas, and that's kind of one of the benefits of GP. You're never doing the same thing, so you have lots of time to kind of learn different aspects of medicine, which is nice because you can really tailor your career into what maybe specialty you're really interested in.
I chose a rural scheme for my first 6 months because I wanted to experience how the rural Ireland is, and I sort of wanted to see people with problems that would usually arise in a rural setup. In a rural community, which is very well knitted, you not only become the part of the community, but you're sort of an extended member of their family.
There's a lot of opportunity to reassure people about things they might be worried about. And sometimes all you're doing for them is providing a listening ear and just being a person of support to them through their illness and their journey in healthcare. But really, it's a career in which you'd never be bored. It's satisfying every day, and you really get a sense of it's incredibly rewarding when somebody comes back to you and tells you that the treatment that you've given them has worked for them.
Okay, so that was a little bit of perspective as well. Listen to different stories as well. It's quite inspiring when you listen to different people's stories as well about being in different specialities. So just going quickly through, give a little bit of idea about the salaries before the tax as well. SHO, it's per year salaries. So it will be like from 51,000 euros to 7,000 euros per year. For SHO, which could be around, after the tax, could be around like from 3,200, it can go up to 4,500 as well. That's like without the calls or overtime as well. So you can earn a little bit more as well if you're doing overtime as well. As a registrar, your starting salary is from 65,000 euros and can go up to 77,000 euros per year. So I'm just talking about, it could be around, let's say like from 3,800 euros to, we can go up to like 5,000 euros. And if you're working overtime as well, you can earn a little bit more as well. What will be the working hours? So normally the working hours in Ireland is like from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's the normal routine hours, but if you're doing any out of hours work or if you're on call as well, so that might be a little bit different as well. So usually the calls are like 12 hours, and some specialties that could be 24 hours call as well, which of them are a little bit less busy as compared to 12 hours calls. Saturday, Sunday is usually holiday, except if you're on call. You will be paid extra on Saturday and Sunday, especially the Sunday, the pay will be double. If you're working on Sunday, for example, if you're getting 20 or 30 euros per hour, so you'll be getting double, you'll be getting 50 or 60 euros per hour as well. About driving in Ireland, that's very important as well. In some part of the counties, the local public system is not very good as well, like the local public transport. And so you can work on international license. So you have Pakistani license, you should get an international license from Pakistan as well. So they will issue one other card as well, written as international license. You can drive for 1 year on the international Pakistani license. So you can do that, but the only drawback is that it will, in Ireland, when you're driving as well, you should have insurance as well. So you will get very expensive insurance when you have international license, apart from the Irish license. How to get an Irish license? You have to go through the theory exam, which is quite easy. You just need to study for 1 or 2 days and that's it. And then you have to take 6 to 12 lessons if you have international license. So you will be needed only 6 lessons, and then you don't have to wait between the theory and the practical test for 6 months. But if you don't have international license from Pakistan, then you have to go through theory exam. Then you have to have 12 lessons with the instructor. And afterwards, after the gap of 6 months between the theory, you're eligible to have a driving test as well. So when you have that, then you have the full Irish license. After the theory exam, you get a learner permit. On the learner permit, you cannot drive alone. You can only drive if you have another person sitting with you who have a full license, but that license he has for 2 years. Only then, because when you get the driving test passed as well, so you get a novice license for 2 years. Afterwards, you become like a full license as well. So on the novice, you can drive alone, but like you cannot sit with a learner, and he can't drive if you're sitting with him for at least 2 years as well. So just a little bit of quick perspective as well. So when you move into Ireland, just make sure you have a national driving license as well, and you should be aware of the cost. And just get the license pretty quickly as well. When I moved to Ireland as well, so I cleared my theory exam in the second week as well. And I just went through this lessons pretty quickly. I would already drove like for 6 to 8 years in Pakistan as well, so it was easier to pass the driving test as well. So just quickly going through the benefits. What are the benefits of living in Ireland as well, as a doctor or any other professional as well? So child schooling is free, and the children can get free lunches. So I have 2 daughters, 3 years old and 7 years old. So they have like a schooling is free, and the schools are very good as well in Ireland. as compared to UK, I will say, because in the UK, some people would like to get into the private schools, but in Ireland, the public schools are very good as well. So there is no need to go into private school. So schooling is free with free lunches. If your children are less than 8, so the GP visit is free. But just you have to give the cost if they prescribe any antibiotic or something like that. You just have to pay for antibiotics. But the consultancy fee is free. The maternity costs are completely free as well. And there's like also like, for example, as a family, if someone has any medical condition which is costing, like in terms of medication, if it's costing more than 80 euros per month, then it is capped as well. So you can apply for one of the schemes as well. And then you won't be paying as a family. For example, if your daughter needs like 40 euros and your medication costs like 100 euros, so you should be giving at only 80 euros only. The rest will be given by the government. And so it is capped as well at 80 euro, which is quite good. And then as a parent, you get child benefit. You get 140 euros per month per child. If you have 2 kids, you will get 280 euros. And then if you have 3 or 4 more, 5 kids as well. So the more kids, the more money you get as well. So that's for the child benefit as well. And you can use it for whatever you want as well. So it will be, they will send the money directly into your account. And again, if you're buying a new house in Ireland as well, so you get up to 30,000 euros towards the down payment, which is completely, it's just a grant, it's not a loan or something like that. So they just pay you 30,000 euros. If you have worked at least like 2 or 3 years, you have given enough tax as well, because like over here, the tax net is between 20 to 40% of the tax on your income. Which is deducted from your salary directly as well. So at least you can get like 30,000 euro grant towards the down payment as well if you're buying a new house. It's just only for the new house, not for the old houses. Apart from that, when you're working in Ireland as well, you get educational funds as well. Like every year I'm getting 2,500 euros. So I can pay towards, like, for example, if I'm doing a diploma or if I'm doing a master program, something like that. So at least I get 2,500 euros per month as well. It's different from SHOs. I think the SHO is around 1,750 euros per year. But at least you can get some education funds as well. And after 5 years of living in Ireland, you're eligible to apply for citizenship as well. And Irish passport is quite strong as well. Its global rank is number 4. It is more stronger than the UK. I think UK is 6 or 7. So it gives you a lot of mobility freedom as well. So you can move around very easily. And again, when you're in Ireland as well, it's very easy to travel to European countries. You get visa very, very, very easily as well. So it's like one of the benefits as well, because Ireland is just in the part of the European Union and you can move around very easily as well. But you have to apply a visa when you have the Pakistani passport. So, but getting the visa is quite easy. Also, this is the 3rd most peaceful country in the world. And I can say as well in Ireland, the people are very, very warm, welcoming as well, apart from other European countries as well. So it's a good place to live and to raise your kids as well. And just a few words about the UK as well. It's almost the same as well. Like if you see about the driving, the pays are almost the same. It's a little bit less in the UK as compared to Ireland. And the rest of the costs and everything is the same as well. The driving rules and everything is the same as well. So just a few words about like the UK as well. So you basically need the GMC registration. And what you have to do is, especially the English language requirements, the OET is the same as the Irish, like you need a B in each module. But the IELTS in OOT, but IELTS is a little bit different as well. You need a little bit higher score. In Ireland, you said that you can have overall of 7 and 6.5 in each. For the UK, you need overall of 5 and 7 in each as well, which gets a little bit tricky when you for the writing section as well. So at least I would say just go for OET. And different pathways as well. Like in Ireland, you don't need a press exam if you have been internship after 2009, but in UK, you should need a PLAB. This is one of the pathway. Or you should have like a postgraduate qualification like MRCP UK, MRCPI, or other qualification, MRCS or FRCR as well. Then you can get general medical council registration as well. So if you have any of them, unfortunately nowadays, like previously, FCPS anesthesia and FCPS Ps were acceptable as a postgraduate qualifications. But that's not the case anymore as well. So none of the Pakistan postgraduate qualifications are eligible to get GMC registration. Again, you can go through the CPSP pathway, which is the junior and senior fellowship program. You can look into you can see as well, this was like University Hospital Birmingham. You can see the latest date was 31st of July 2024 for the international, which is called like international training fellowships. Either you can go as a junior fellowship, like just before clearing the FCPS after the IMM, or you can go after as a senior fellowship after clearing FCPS as well. But the junior fellowship is actually SHO job in UK, and the senior fellowship is actually registrar job in the UK as well. So that should be kept in mind as well. Some people will think like after FCPS, they might be working as a senior registrars or as a consultants, but actually they are working as a registrar there, which is completely fine as well. You should be working as a registrar to get experience of the UK as well.
Sir, there's a question in the chat box by Mini. The question is MRCP 1 exam acceptable in UK and vice versa?
MRCPI.
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 MRCPI is acceptable for registration, yes. He's asking for GMC registration.
Yes, the question is it acceptable in UK and vice versa?
Yeah, it is, yes. It was not before. Before MRCPI was not acceptable, but the rule has been changed recently. So it is acceptable, yes. But it is acceptable for the GMC registration, but just in case if you want to work in the training, for example, if you want to go to ST3 or ST4 in the training, you want to skip the basic specialist training as well. If you want to go directly into specialty, then MRCPI don't exempt you from the basics training as well, like the BST training in Ireland. So they don't exempt you from there. But you can get the GMC registration at least. When you have the MRCP UK, so you don't have to do the basic GIM training. You can go apply directly for like training in rheumatology or endocrinology or cardiology, anything like that. So it only exempts you from GMC, from the PLAB. You can get into GMC registration, but not from the training. I hope I have answered that question. Okay, so these are the main pathways. Like either you should have a PLAB, or you should have like a suitable postgraduate qualification, or the other way is CPSP pathway. There's another pathway as well, which is called like medical training initiative. Some people might know about this as well, but I've seen a lot of people don't have knowledge about this as well. So this we call it like a sponsorship route. For example, if you don't have a PLAB, you don't have acceptable post medical qualification as well, and you're unable to get the job through CPSP as well, even then you can get the GMC registration, which is called like the Tier 5 visa, or it's like a sponsorship route. So what they do is like there's a different pathways for that. I will just share different websites as well. So normally there's a different ways to do that. Either you get you look for the hospital who is offering the sponsorship jobs. You can apply directly and you can get a sponsorship. Or sometimes you get the job and then you go to one of the bodies as well, that if they can sponsor you. So I will just explain it in my coming slides as well. So this is like one of the, you can see on the psychiatry website, Royal College of Psychiatrists. It's called Medical Training Initiative. So you can see there as well, like how to apply. Everything is explained there as well. If someone is like from psychiatry, they can go to this website. If someone is from Obs Gynae, they can go to this website as well. And they can see what is the eligibility criteria. So you don't need anything like MRCOG or something like that, like a membership exam. You don't need a PLAB or anything like that to get the GMC registration. So they will sponsor you for at least 2 years. They sponsor you. You get the GMC registration, but the registration stays with you even after finishing 2 years of this job as well. So you can stay in Ireland, in UK, and then you can keep working in UK as well. And you can get into different jobs other than fellowship as well. And this is like the sponsorship pathways has also been explained on the General Medical Council website, and they have explained how to apply for this. And they have also put the list of the hospitals as well, which are eligible for the sponsorship. So you can look into these hospitals as well. You can search on the Google and then you can apply directly there. So I have put a list as well. I have put the link in the last slide as well in the resources. You can look into that as well. So this is one of the ways to get into the UK as well if you don't have a PLAB or anything like that. So this like I have got like from one of the websites as well. You can see as well it's International Psychiatry Fellowship. So this is like you can apply directly. You don't need anything. Like you can see over here as well, like this for the suitably qualified international medical graduates who do not have a GMC registration, and the hospital will sponsor you.
Another question by Dr. Emil, sir.
Yep.
He's asking, why does IMC registration take so long? Can one
Mhm.
speed up this process?
Yeah, So there's the thing about Ireland as well as compared to the UK. In Ireland, everything goes very slowly and steadily as compared to the UK as well. In Ireland, the main thing is like they're struggling with recruiting a lot of people as well. Like you can see in even in the healthcare professional workforce as well, almost like 50% are international medical graduates. So if you just in case if you deduct these international medical graduates, their health system will collapse as well. So that's why like they don't have enough people to go through these applications. So they need more people. And unfortunately, like they can't recruit the people from like Pakistan as well on these on into the medical council because we have a different qualification from Pakistan as well. So just in case if they open this route as well. So the main reason is that they don't have enough people to go through the application as well. And that's why when you apply for the citizenship as well, you get eligible after 5 years, but it takes you almost 2 years to get the citizenship as well. It's around 18 months now, but like it takes around like 2 years as well to get like the citizenship as well. And the UK is a little bit like quicker. They might get you like in 6 months or so.
Yes.
So it's mostly it's because of they have less people.
Another
But they
question along the
can
same
improve.
lines,
Yeah,
sir,
yeah.
is it necessary to send documents via courier to IMC or just emailing it is enough?
No, emailing is enough. You can just have it's all online now, so they prefer to email or to send it directly. But if they need through the courier, they will let you know. But most of the time, they are dealing just through email or just applying online as well.
Thank you, sir.
Uh, Yeah, no worries. And just about like again, like there's one of the hospital as well, which is like they're offering as well like this Manchester International Fellowship Scheme, which is about like again one of the schemes as well. How do you get into the training? So again, I have just a small video just to give a little bit of like perspective about like what is the medical training initiative as well. And I hope that will be the end of my. I have a few more slides and that's it then. So just play this video.
Overall, it's been a tremendous, excellent experience, and I'm really happy to be here. There's a lot of learning opportunities in the form of MDT discussions, case-based discussions. So that has brought out my leadership qualities. When I go back home, I will be more confident. I'll be a better doctor. I'm enjoying every bit of the training I am gaining here. It's an amazing feeling that I'm getting trained in such a huge institution under such eminent mentors. So yeah, I would be more than happy if in case I get to work longer. Manchester International Fellowship Scheme is an excellent initiative which helps overseas doctors to gain some experience in the UK. What's different about the scheme from the MTI is that Manchester University Foundation Trust itself acts as a sponsorship for your GMC rather than going through any other college. So it skips the entire tedious process and makes it really short and easy. Every kind of support was offered to me, not only work related, social aspects, such as from my arrival to the UK, which involved trying to find an accommodation, the other bits like getting a national insurance number and other document works which needs to be done, like collecting a BRP card, everything was addressed and taken care of. I had people supporting me, guiding me. My piece of advice for you if you're applying is know your eligibility criteria well, especially know that you need to clear your IELTS exam. Ever since I've been here, I've fallen in love with the city. It's very lively city, be it music, be it art, be it theater show, live music, shopping, there's everything for everyone. I can never get enough of the city. Overall, it's been
Okay, so when you're looking to the UK jobs as well, so there's a different website as well. You can look in jobs in the UK as well. So all these links are in the resource land as well. And just one slide on alternate pathway to the consultant as well. So you have to develop a portfolio, and then the competencies should be signed from the consultants as well. For example, if you're working as a standalone registrar for a long period of time and you want to go into alternate pathway towards the consultant, so you should be assigning all these. There is like you can email IMC or you can email GMC as well. They will send you the forms as well. What's the eligibility criteria to be a consultant, what competencies you need to sign as well. So you have to develop your portfolio, and then you have to sign all these competencies from the consultant, and then you have to submit it to the medical councils, and they will decide whether you can go to the specialist registration to work as a consultant or not. It is very hard to go through the alternate pathway, especially in Ireland as compared to the UK. But this is one of the pathways. I've seen a few Pakistani doctors becoming consultant through this pathway as well. But I will prefer more to become a consultant through the proper training pathway as well. It's more streamlined. You learn a lot, and it's more easier as well. If you get into the training, when you get into training, then you will become a consultant definitely. But just in case, this is one of the pathways as well. Let's say like it's hard work, more time consuming, could be risky as well. You would have done all the hard work as well. I've seen the people like have like 6 or 7 years being a registrar, working towards these, and then they don't get it as well. So it's a risky business as well. So it's all the references and the resources. I just put it there as well, just in case if someone needs to access this later on. Thank you very much. And if you have any other further queries, I can answer that. Just in case if I am unable to answer today, you can always email me, and I'll be more than happy to reply to that as well. I will find the answer and come back to you. And just in case if someone is very shy to ask the question today, they can definitely email me and I can answer later on as well, but more than happy to answer now. And at the end, I have like 2 slides on the feedback for my own feedback as well. At the end of presentation, I will use the Menti again as well, if you be kind enough to give me a feedback about today's presentation as well. So I would just ask if there's any questions, Omar, if there's anything in the chat box or anything like that, or if someone can ask as well. So you can ask in any English or Urdu as well, so no problem with that.
Thank you, Dr. Majid, for this insightful presentation. This was indeed very enlightening and educational, and I'm sure everyone had quite a lot to learn. We will now open the floor for questions. Please use the raise hand function if you want to speak, or you could simply type your question into the chat box and we will address them one at a time. We have a few questions, sir.
Yep.
Hafsa is asking, can you please elaborate pathways for lesser known fields, that is physical medicine and rehabilitation?
Yeah, so the rehabilitation medicine, there is like one as well. You can apply as well. Like there's one of the hospitals, like rehabilitation medicine, physical medicine jobs is a little bit less as well. The physical medicine is not, it's not quite popular in Ireland as well. So there's like a different other specialties who covers like the physical medicines. But regarding the rehabilitation medicine, there is one big hospital in Dublin, rehabilitation medicine, that's very good as well. So they usually look for different registrars as well. So I was once shortlisted for the registrar in rehabilitation medicine, and but like that's what's good. I didn't get it because I don't have any experience of that. But like there is a different as well. One of the job was linked with the Trinity College Dublin to work as a clinical tutor registrar in rehabilitation medicine. So it involved both clinical and academic jobs as well. So it's the same way you can work as SHO in rehabilitation medicine, and you can work as a registrar as well in rehabilitation medicine. It's the same as well. You just need Irish Medical Council registration. And again, if you want to get into training as well, it's the same way that you can apply for the training as you're applying for other specialties as well. So, so definitely you can look as well rehabilitation medicine. Just put into Google rehabilitation medicine and Ireland, you will get the website as well. And you can keep an eye on their website. Sometimes they will advertise, and you can apply for that. And rehabilitation medicine, you can get it more easily as compared to other specialties as well, because not a lot of people will be applying for that job.
Thank you, sir. Saira Malik is asking, what is job scope for FCPS hematology with few years of faculty experience? And Abuzar has added on to that, saying he is currently working as a resident in ped surgery. Could you please tell him about the scope of ped surgery? So there is FCPS hematology and ped surgery. They're asking for the scope.
Yeah, so you can get easily if you have hematology experience. There is a lot of jobs in hematology as well, both SHO and registrar. If you have done FCPS hematology as well, so I tell everyone to start as a SHO for 6 months. You will be very well qualified. You have FCPS hematology with few years of faculty experience as well. So you have a lot of clinical experience. Definitely, you can work as a consultant as well in Ireland. But the problem is that you are new to the system. You don't know the system, how the system works, how you can order like the blood tests, how to send the letters to different other specialties. So just to know the system, because when you start as registrar, they expect you a lot. Like they expect you just to be working like a consultant then. And just a few queries you have to ask from the consultant, otherwise you'll be working independently, I would say. So when you work as a SHO, you're not working independently. You will be asking a lot of questions from your registrar, from the nursing staff, everything as well. So you just give a little bit of cushion as well to get used to the system. So I always advise to everyone just to have a little bit of experience of 6 months as SHO, and then always you can move on to registrar directly after 6 months as well. So if you have experience hematology with few years of faculty experience, you can easily get a job in as a registrar as well. But even if you get an SHO, just get the SHO job. When you're in Ireland, you have a job of SHO, you're working with a consultant, they will know that how good you are, so they will promote you as a registrar pretty quickly as well. So you can work as a registrar, but then again, going into the training into hematology, that's very difficult as well. So that's, I think, the main thing in Ireland is like going into the specialty and working as a consultant is again, it's a little bit hard way to do, because there is less slots and there's more application from Irish and EU people. So automatically, you are knocked out as well. And again, about the ped surgery, yes, there are some hospitals who works in the ped surgery as well. So for you, I would advise you to start in general surgery first to get to know to the system, because ped surgery will be a lot more specialized as well. But just in case if you get a job as in the ped surgery as a SHO as well, that will be grand to get used to the system. There's more jobs in general surgery and less jobs in pediatric surgery as well, but still you can get the job as well. Especially if you have experience of general surgery, then the ped surgery consultant will take you on the job easily as well, especially if you're working in Ireland and you have worked on the general surgery as well. So, and you have experience of ped surgery from Pakistan, they can take you.
Thank you, sir. To all the participants, the feedback form has been shared. Kindly fill that out. Sir Majid, Dr. Salih Faisal has sent a message saying, "Thank you, Dr. Majid, for revealing multiple options on clinical side. Since you worked in university as well, could you kindly share options of funded postdoc in basic sciences?"
Okay, yeah, and it's okay. It's in the chat box. Is that right? The question.
Yes, sir. The question is in the chat box. The question is by
Okay.
Dr. Salih Faisal.
Okay, I'll just have a quick look. I think he's asking about like research opportunities or as a job, like. I can see the question now. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Dr.
Basic sciences. Yes, I see the question as well. So, uh, so on the clinical side, if you work in university in the basic sciences as well, so usually for the basic sciences, they need a little bit of if you have MD or PhD in the basic sciences. For example, if there's like a lecturer job in anatomy or in biochemistry as well. So most of the times they will be looking for some higher degree as well, like MD or PhD as well. But there is options as well. You can work there, and there's like few research jobs as well. I've seen some people coming on the research as well, funded research jobs as well, like a research assistant or research jobs as well. So you can always keep an eye on the university jobs as well, and then you can apply there. I've seen a few people coming on the university jobs as well, but it will be a little bit hard to get in basic sciences the clinical proper job, but you can also always get a job in research in some if they are starting any research as well. You can get a job in research, and then later on you can move to some other other job as well when they are more confident about yourself. So yeah, my answer will be yes, you can get, but keep an eye on different university websites.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Rahadullah has two questions. He's asking the job scope after doing FCPS here, but not past part 2. And number 2, is it easy to get a job in the relevant specialty done here in Pakistan?
Yeah, the first question is like, I am one of the example. I have completed my FCPS training. Haven't passed part 2 at that point. I have passed the theory exam only, and then I moved to Ireland. So I got a job as a registrar. My first job was a registrar as well. So I got a job there. So definitely yes. So you can job easily. If you have the FCPS training, it's more easy because you have more experience as well. They'll be looking, so they will count the experience. If you can say that you have worked in the teaching hospital as well, so they will definitely count that. But on the top of that, if you have, like, for example, some membership exams like MRCP UK or MRCPI 1 or 2, so that will make your CV more powerful as well. So you will be more likely to get shortlisted for that. But definitely, if you have FCPS training, they will consider the training definitely. And the second question is, it depends on the specialty. You get job more easily like in general medicine, general surgery. But once I was like shortlisted in one of the specialty like hepatology as well. So yes, you can get job in specialty if you have like experience in gastroenterology. So you can get a job in gastroenterology. If you have experience in cardiology, you can get a job as a registrar in cardiology as well. So definitely, like I said as earlier as well, you can get into hematology or obs-gynae or peds. Sometime if like you might get a little bit easier to get in some of the specialties as well, like especially in emergency medicine, they need a lot of people in emergency medicine. Not a lot of people goes there. So if you have experience and then if you have some MRCM exams, part one or something, yeah, they will definitely consider. So it depends on specialty as well. For example, if you have done radiology, then that could be a problem then. And if you have done dermatology, there's like very few vacancies of dermatology as well. So it depends on specialty.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Mohsin is asking, does a complete training in FCPS and passing a couple of exams in MRCPCH give you an edge for a SHO/registrar job in Ireland?
Yes, definitely it does. Yeah, and it's a little bit easier to get into and the pediatric jobs as well because they need a lot of people. There's not a lot of there's more people in general medicine, general surgery applying for the jobs. But you have the training and then you have done some parts of the membership exam. So definitely they will consider.
Sir, Maheen Shah is asking a question. For final year medical student, what is the best time to consider applying for registration to UK and Ireland?
So definitely you should have completed your internship because before that you can't get the experience certificate. So I will say in during the internship, you can study for like English language exam, OET or IELTS. You can clear during the internship. You can at least clear that one. That will be eligible for 2 years. You should keep that in mind as well. That will be eligible for 2 years. So I would say at the end of the completion of the whole job, just clear the English language test, and immediately after the whole job, just make the certificates and apply to PMDC and start your registration process. So I'll say the first step for you will be to clear the English language test at the end of the training
Perfect.
of the whole job.
Yes, sir. Aisha Naseem was wondering if you could share all the links in the chat box for easy accessibility.
Yeah, I can do that. No worries. Okay. Any other questions? What I'm doing
So
this?
the question from Usman, he's saying, hi, I am an FCPS med in 2015, looking for a job at the age of 42 years as a medical consultant abroad.
Oh, sorry, can you repeat the question? I'm just changing the slide.
Yes, sir. The question was, hi, I am a FCPS medical graduate in 2015, looking for a job at the age of 42 years as medical consultant abroad, question mark.
Okay, so yeah, so unfortunately you cannot work as a consultant because like there's two different registrations you need to work as a consultant. Like you'll be eligible to work like on the general register. You will get a general registration to work as a non-consultant job like SHO registrar as well. But to get to work as a consultant, you need to go onto the specialist registration. So for going to the specialist registration, you have like competency to get signed as well. And then you have to apply to the Irish Medical Council, and they will accept to work. They will accept it that you can go into specialist registration. Then you can work as a consultant there. But if you have some in Ireland, if you have worked as a registrar for like for 5-6 years as well, in some of the hospitals they will accept you as a as an associate consultant or something like that for a short period of time, like a locum consultant job, but not directly from Pakistan.
Yes, sir. So Zoila Waheed Khan has a question. She's asking, like in USMLE, the surgery pathway for IMGs is a bit difficult. What is its scope in Ireland and UK for IMGs?
Yeah, it's the same here as well. Surgical specialty is always difficult to get into. So I would say it's the same as well. It's more easier to get into the medical specialties, and it's the same in UK as well.
Muhammad Yusuf is asking, I want to complete speciality in Pakistan, cardiology, and he has done MRCP 1 and 2. What will be the best route to get a training job in cardiology?
So the first will be like if you're looking at the Ireland, so you have to come here and then you have to work. Like you will need PhD training first in general medicine. You cannot apply directly for HST training, and then you have to apply for HST training afterwards as well. So this is like the pathway for you. You have to complete the PhD training and then you can go into the HST training. Recently, they have started some exemptions as well, which is for the general medicine. You can visit the RCPI website. So they have shared some exemption pathway to how to exempt the BST as well. You can look into that as well, but not a lot of people are eligible for that. So the main pathway will be how you have to go to BST and then you have to go to HST. If you talk about the UK, and of course you should have like during the BST you have to complete MRCPI exam as well. Only then you can apply to HST. In the UK, if you have to do MRCP UK and then you can apply for ST3 or ST4 training in cardiology. But that's very hard to get as well. Again, you can either start with the general medical training in the UK, and then you can apply for higher specialty training in cardiology as well. But in cardiology, it's quite difficult than other specialties. Like for example, in medical and like an acute medicine, in like they call it like a medical assessment unit or different names as well, acute assessment unit or medical assessment unit as well, as compared to general medicines or gastroenterology or endocrinology. Cardiology is a little bit more difficult because of the less number of seats and the more applications. But these are the pathways as well that you have to, in Ireland is you have to start from BST. During the BST, you have to have MRCPA exam, then you're eligible for HST. If you have MRCP UK, you can skip the basic training, and then you can apply for ST3, ST4.
Sir, Sir Iqbal, your hand is raised. Would you like to?
Majid,
Yes.
thank you so much for such an elaborative session. I think so. It was a great opportunity for both undergraduates and postgraduates to have an idea of alternate pathways, because everyone I know is thinking about USMLE at this age group. But of course, some other avenues are also there. So it was an excellent perspective on that component. I just want to emphasize कि आप जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं उनको ये बता दे कि जब आप किसी ऐसी चीज के लिए जो आपकी मिशन में हो, जो आप करना चाहें, तो 1-2 दिन का काम नहीं होता है. इट टेक्स टाइम. तो अगर आप जो भी स्टूडेंट्स अगर अब्रॉड के लिए अपॉर्चुनिटी एक्सप्लोर करना चाहते हैं, तो वो अपनी जो अंडर ग्रेजुएट का जो टाइम स्लॉट है उसको इफेक्टिवली मैनेज कर ले. एंड Dr. Majid will totally agree with me कि आप अगर गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट भी हो तो अच्छी बात है, लेकिन जब आप किसी भी पोस्ट के लिए ऐसी के लिए अप्लाई करते हैं तो आपकी सीवी और पोर्टफोलियो पे बहुत नजर रख रहे होते हैं, क्योंकि आपने रिसर्च वर्क कितना किया है, आपके केस सीरीज कितने हैं, आपने ऑडिट कितने किए हुए, आपके आर्टिकल्स कितने पब्लिश हुए. सो I think so that component is becoming important and important once again. अनदर क्वेश्चन जो बात मैं माजिद से पूछना चाह रहा हूँ, माजिद ये जो एमरेटस MRCPI होती है, तो इसमें एक दो तीन कंसल्टेंट्स ने अभी आई थिंक सो क्वेश्चंस भी किए थे, तो अगर वो एमरेटस अवेल करके MRCPI अवेल करके इन चीजों पे चले जाएं, तो फिर भी उनका पर्सपेक्टिव वैसे ही रह रहा होता है कि नहीं? इज इट रेज्ड?
सॉरी, आखिरी क्वेश्चन जरा रिपीट करें कि उनका पर्सपेक्टिव, मतलब वो उसी तरह, मतलब कि वो रहेगी उसी पाथवे के थ्रू जाएंगे।
मेरा मतलब ये है कि एक दो कंसल्टेंट्स ने अभी आपसे क्वेश्चंस भी किए थे कि व्हाट इज द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ, कि उन्होंने इधर इतनी कंसल्टेंटशिप की हुई है,
जी जी।
तो अगर वो MRCP आयरलैंड के एमरेटिस अवेल कर ले
हम्म
और
हम्म
फिर वो अप्लाई कर रहे हो, तो उनके CV स्ट्रेंथन हो जाती है कि नहीं? इट्स जस्ट ए पेपर एडिशन?
सो मतलब एज अ कंसल्टेंट तो फिर भी काम नहीं कर सकते। MRCPI यहाँ पे सिर्फ मेंबरशिप एग्जाम है। वो
हाँ,
लोग करते करते हैं जब वो सीनियर हाउस ऑफिसर्स होते हैं। तो
तो
सीनियर
व्हाट अबाउट अगर वो उधर स्पेशलिस्ट रजिस्ट्रार के पर्सपेक्टिव से फिर अप्लाई कर रहे हो?
सो आयरलैंड में तो है, अगर आपने MRCPI किया है तो वो आपको एग्जाम्प्ट नहीं करते फ्रॉम जनरल मेडिकल ट्रेनिंग। स्टिल आपने जनरल मेडिकल ट्रेनिंग करनी है। यूके में डिफरेंट है,
ओके।
अगर आपने MRCP यूके किया है तो आपने कॉम्पिटेंसी साइन करने, एक फॉर्म होता है वो आपने यहाँ किसी कंसल्टेंट से साइन कर देना है जो जिसके पास FRCP हो, जिसके पास GNC
ओके।
मेडिकल काउंसिल की वो रजिस्ट्रेशन हो। तो वो आपको वो कहते हैं कि ये कॉम्पिटेंट है, ही डजंट वांट टू वर्क एज SHO, तो वो साइन करके आप एज HST काम कर सकते हैं। तो मेंबरशिप एग्जाम यहाँ पे ये होता है कि आप स्पेशलिटी में इंटर हो सकते हैं या नहीं। तो मेंबरशिप एग्जाम का यहाँ तक इतना रोल है कि
अच्छा, ओके।
क्या
माजिद,
वर्क एज रजिस्ट्रार और नॉट।
Majid just linchpin the significance of research to the undergraduates, and I think so. Madam Sadia Ashraf has raised her hand, so welcome, madam. और अगर वो कोई क्वेश्चन करना चाहे, so the mic is her.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Iqbal Haider. It's Amber here from Sadia's Mobile. And before I'm also here and welcome. Iqbal, first of all, आपको congratulate very nice series of all these webinars, and it's so good to see Majid here, na? And really, जैसे आपका अस्सलाम वालेकुम, बहुत खुशी हुई आपको देख के, इतना सक्सेसफुल एंड अ वेरी नाइस प्रेजेंटेशन, थैंक यू। बाकी ओवर टू अम्बर। अस्सलाम वालेकुम जी। माजिद, सादिया सुन रही थी। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, आपसे बात करने से पहले मुझे एक अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली for Professor Dr. Iqbal Haider. He is a gem and a very dynamic person. The way he conducted all these webinars, salute to him. He involved all the super genius of KPK, national, international level. And when I saw your presentation and the way, I feel so proud, mashallah, mashallah, mashallah. और मैं सिर्फ ये बताती जाऊं, वो सब जो सुन रहे हैं, माजिद हमारा हाउस ऑफिसर था, ऐसा ही है ना माजिद?
जी जी बिल्कुल सही है।
और आज माशाल्लाह आप जहाँ पे हो, एंड ही इज द पर्सन के जब मैंने शुरू में ये सारी लॉग बुक्स और चीजें शुरू कराई, अटेंडेंस एंड एवरीथिंग, तो इसने मुझे बोला मैडम आपने जिंदगी मुश्किल कर दी, और वापस आके इसने बोला are the things you make for us so easier over there, that what we all need here in Pakistan. And that is the only comment for which I interrupt in between a wonderful lecture and thing, because ये सदके जारिया है। आप जहां जहां भी हो, जैसे भी हो, आप सिस्टम को इन प्लेस करो, और इस तरीके से वो लोग जो उस बात को मानते हैं और आगे चलते हैं ना, वो आपकी तरह माशाल्लाह सक्सेसफुल हो के पाकिस्तान को भी, KMC को भी, अपने सीनियर्स को, माँ बाप को, सबको इस तरीके से प्राउड फील कराते हैं। कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन माजिद, और सदफ को स्पेशली सलाम मेरा और सादिया का दे देना, ठीक है? दैट इज वेरी गुड। और प्लीज इन पीजीज को दो चीजें बता दो, the ethics and professionalism with honesty. These are the things which really make a difference. अगर आप पेशेंट का BP नहीं चेक करते हो और आप उसको नहीं देखते हो, ठीक है, लेकिन वो कहीं ना कहीं जाके आपको वो जो आपकी डिसऑनेस्टी है ना, वो पे बैक होती है। तो जो मैं यहाँ पे कहना चाहूंगी, आपके इस जबरदस्त जितने भी आपने लेक्चर दिए, क्वेश्चन आंसर्स किए, कैरियर गाइडेंस दी, उसमें जो बेसिक एक चीज है जो आपकी फाउंडेशन है, वो है ऑनेस्टी, डिसिप्लिन योरसेल्फ एंड टेक द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी। जिस जॉब के लिए भी आप जा रहे हो, प्लीज उसे ऑनेस्टी के साथ करो। सिर्फ ये देखो कि ये तमाम मरीज मेरे अपने पेशेंट हैं, तो मैं इनको कैसे डील करूंगा। आपके एथिक्स के चारों पिलर्स बहुत खूबसूरत तरीके से फुलफिल हो जाते हैं, एंड इट्स रियली वेरी गुड। थैंक यू वेरी मच माजिद। ठीक है, अपने
थैंक यू
बाबा को भी बहुत सलाम देना, और ये मुझे एक अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली आपसे सोशलाइजेशन करने की। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
थैंक यू वेरी मच,
थैंक
थैंक यू, थैंक यू फॉर द काइंड वर्ड्स। ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ें हैं। और मैं कार्डियोलॉजी में मैंने डॉक्टर अंबर के अंडर काम किया, फिर पल्मोनोलॉजी में मैंने काम किया डॉक्टर सादिया के अंदर, एंड मेडिसिन में मैंने डॉक्टर इकबाल हैदर के साथ एज अ हाउस ऑफिसर भी काम किया है। देन आई वर्क एज अ रजिस्ट्रार एज वेल, एज अ ट्रेनिंग मेडिकल ऑफिसर, सॉरी, एज वेल। सो yeah, it's very important points has been raised. First of all, Dr. Iqbal Haider ने कहा about research as well, so it's very important as well. So मैं तो यूजुअली क्रेडिट डॉक्टर इकबाल हैदर को ही देता हूँ रिसर्च का, बिकॉज शुरू में इन्होंने ही मुझे लगाया था रिसर्च पे और केस रिपोर्ट्स पे। इनिशियली तो हमें मुझे काफ़ी मतलब वो लगता था, ड्यूरिंग ट्रेनिंग एक्स्ट्रा बोझ लगता था कि मैंने कहा ये रिसर्च मैंने देखनी है, ये मैंने लिखना है, सारा कुछ करना है। मगर वो बाद में मुझे रियलाइज़ हुआ कि वो कितना हेल्पफुल था। और स्पेशली मुझे जो जॉब्स मिली, मतलब ट्रिनिटी स्कूल ऑफ मेडिसिन में, जो वन ऑफ द बेस्ट कॉलेजेस हैं आयरलैंड में एंड अक्रॉस द यूरोप एज वेल। तो वो यही देखते थे कि मेरे सीवी पे ऑलरेडी, मैं जब आयरलैंड के लिए अप्लाई कर रहा था, ऑलरेडी आई हैव लाइक 5 ओरिजिनल आर्टिकल्स पब्लिश्ड, आई हैव लाइक 4 केस रिपोर्ट्स पब्लिश्ड। मैंने काफ़ी एडिटोरियल्स भी डॉक्टर इकबाल के साथ लिखे थे, सो जो बहुत ज़्यादा मुझे हेल्प की उसमें। सो दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। और मैं ऑलरेडी इन्वॉल्व भी था एज आ उसकी अरेंज करना मुख्तलिफ एजुकेशनल एक्टिविटीज़ में, तो वो सारी चीज़ें मेरे सीवी पे आ गई। और जब एज अ रेफरेंस भी डॉक्टर इकबाल हैदर को मैं डाला, तो वो भी डालते थे, तो वो सारी इन चीज़ों को वो करते थे, लिख लेते जहाँ पे यहाँ जॉब्स मिलती थी। तो दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एज वेल। सो आई वुड से लाइक फॉर द मेडिकल स्टूडेंट्स, और जो हाउस जॉब में, इवन जो अभी ट्रेनिंग में भी हैं, तो ऑडिट, रिसर्च, टीचिंग, ये बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है इन सिक्योरिंग द जॉब इन द फॉरेन एज वेल। सो जब भी सीवी पे होती थी, तो वो मुझसे ज़्यादा क्वेश्चंस रिसर्च और ऑडिट और इन चीज़ों पे करते थे। और बाहर मुल्क में ऑडिट बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। सो आई से फ्रॉम नाउ आप ये काम करें। जो मेरे सीवी पे जो स्ट्रॉन्ग चीज़ें थी, वो मुझे कहते थे कि वाई शुड वी टेक यू। सो मैं कहता था कि मेरे साथ क्लिनिकल एक्सपीरियंस तो है, जो ऑलमोस्ट हर किसी के पास होता है। जो आपको डिफरेंशिएट करते हैं फ्रॉम अदर कैंडिडेट्स, आप कहते हैं कि मेरे पास टीचिंग एक्सपीरियंस भी है और मेरे पास रिसर्च की एक्सपीरियंस भी है। तो वो दो और क्वालिटीज़ ऐड होके मैं ऑलरेडी मतलब और कैंडिडेट से ज़्यादा मेरे थोड़ा एज मुझे मिलता था। और जिस तरह डॉक्टर साहब ने बात की, एथिक्स और प्रोफेशनलिज्म, वो तो बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है फॉर फॉरेन कंट्रीज़। क्योंकि जब आपसे इंटरव्यू लिया जाता है, तो वो आपसे आपका क्लिनिकल नॉलेज नहीं देखते इंटरव्यू में, एक्चुअली वो देखते हैं कि आप कितने सेफ डॉक्टर हैं। तो सेफ डॉक्टर बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर आपके कोई इंटरव्यू है, वो आपसे पूछे कि फॉर एग्जांपल आप लंबर पंक्चर कर सकते हैं या नहीं, अगर आप नहीं कॉन्फिडेंट, आप कहते हैं कि मैं नहीं कर सकता, वो आपको वो नहीं करेंगे कि वो आपको नहीं लेंगे, मगर वो आपको इससे एक्स्ट्रा पॉइंट्स मिलेंगे। वो कहेंगे लंबर पंक्चर इसने कह दिया कि ये नहीं कर सकता, ये एक नेगेटिव पॉइंट है, मगर इसने सच सच कहा है हमें। तो वो अगर आप नहीं कर सकते, बिल्कुल ठीक है, आप उधर आपको सिखा देंगे, आप फिर दोबारा करेंगे। मैंने जब पहले लंबर पंक्चर, मैंने पाकिस्तान में बहुत लंबर पंक्चर्स किए थे, मगर आयरलैंड में थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट था, डिफरेंट इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स थे, डिफरेंट प्रोटोकॉल्स थे। तो मैंने उधर डिफरेंट और रजिस्ट्रार को मैंने वो किया, पहले मैंने उसको शेडो किया और फिर उसके बाद मैंने किए काफ़ी। तो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आपको पता हो कि आपके लिमिट्स क्या है, और इंटरव्यू में आपने सारा सच ही बताना है, क्योंकि अगर आप नहीं बताएंगे, आपसे फिर एक्सपेक्ट करेंगे, तो वो डिसऑनेस्टी में आएगा। और ऑफ कोर्स यहाँ पे ओनरशिप ऑफ पेशेंस बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। अगर आप पहले से ही आप मेडिकल स्टूडेंट से आप हाउस जॉब में जाएंगे, तो प्रोफेशनलिज्म और एथिक्स या आपने टॉप पे रखनी है। और टाइम मैनेजमेंट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इज वेल। तो इवन लाइक जब हम वार्ड में होते थे, तो आप फॉर एग्जांपल अगर जॉब 8 o'clock स्टार्ट हो रही है, तो आप 7:45 उधर पहुंच जाएँ। मेरी पहली जॉब पेट सर्जरी में थी, तो डॉक्टर इमरान को आप लोग जानते होंगे, तो यूजुअली 8 o'clock जॉब स्टार्ट होती है, मैं 7:45 पहुंचा। तो उसने मुझे कहा था कि आपकी बहुत अच्छी आदत है, तो उसको कभी मत छोड़ना। तो वो अभी तक मुझे हेल्प करती हैं। मैं जब मेडिकल वार्ड में था डॉक्टर इकबाल हैदर के साथ, तो डॉक्टर इकबाल हैदर काफ़ी अर्ली आते थे, तो मैं भी आता था। तो शुरू में हम बैठ के गपशप लगा ली, वो कर ली, पेशेंट्स कुछ हैं डिफ़िकल्ट पेशेंट्स हैं वो डिस्कस कर लिए। फिर उसके बाद में वो राउंड स्टार्ट होता है। डॉक्टर इकबाल हैदर ने मुझे ये कहा कि ये आदत कभी मत छोड़ना। तो अभी तक वो मुझे हेल्प कर रही है। अभी भी मेरी जॉब भी 8 बजे स्टार्ट होती है, मैं 7:30 पहुंचा होता हूँ, अपने कंसल्टेंट से पहले पहुंचा होता हूँ। तो वो काफ़ी अप्रिशिएट करते हैं इस बात को। तो टाइम मैनेजमेंट, प्रोफेशनलिज्म, एथिक्स, ये सारी चीज़ें बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। तो इट जो आपको हेल्प करेंगी थ्रू आउट योर करियर। तो आखिर में मैं कहता हूँ कि अभी से रिसर्च, ऑडिट और इन चीज़ों पे भी काम करें, क्योंकि सब मेंबरशिप एग्ज़ाम कर लेंगे, सब सेम ट्रेनिंग कर लेंगे, मगर आप जो स्टैंड आउट करेंगे वो इस रीजंस की वजह से करेंगे।
थैंक यू सर। सर हम आखिरी वक्त तक भी पहुंच रहे, तो क्विक क्वेश्चन बाय मिसबाउल्लाह खान, व्हाट शुड बी द रूट फॉर रजिस्ट्रेशन टू आयरलैंड इफ समवन हैज पास्ड FCPS Part 2 in Pakistan and have 3 years of experience after FCPS Part 2?
रोट वही है, ठीक है। आपको इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज होना चाहिए और आपने जनरल रजिस्ट्रेशन पे ही अप्लाई करना है, क्योंकि FCPS आप आइलैंड आना चाहते हैं तो आप तो ऑलरेडी बस आपका इंटर्नशिप 2009 के बाद होना चाहिए, और आपके कोई एलिजिबल वो होनी चाहिए जो आपके रोटेशंस हैं 3 3 मंथ्स वाली जो है, तो उसके मुताबिक होनी चाहिए। तो रूट वही है, उसी के थ्रू आप आ सकते हैं। FCPS मेडिसिन का एक बेनिफिट ये है कि जिसमें मेरे पास FCPS मेडिसिन था तो मैं MRCPI Part 1 रिटन एग्जाम से एग्जाम्प्टेड था। तो मैंने सिर्फ MRCPI Part 2 रिटन और फिर क्लिनिकल दिया था। तो 1 ईयर में मैंने पूरा MRCPI मेंबरशिप कर लिया था। तो ये है कि FCPS मेडिसिन का एक फ़ायदा है कि
Right, sir.
आपकी आप कंप्लीट की हो ट्रेनिंग, या आपके पास कंप्लीट मतलब हो डिग्री हो।
Yes, sir. And another question by Shafiq Khan. He has done nephrology FCPS training, is completed. Will it help to get a job in relevant field in Ireland?
यस डेफिनेटली यस। बट ये याद रखें कि जितनी भी स्पेशलिटीज़ हैं वो लिंक्ड हैं यहाँ पे जनरल मेडिसिन के साथ। फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप नेफ्रोलॉजी में हैं तो यू विल बी एक्सपेक्टेड टू वर्क इन जनरल मेडिसिन एज वेल। सो जो नेफ्रोलॉजिस्ट यहाँ पे हैं वो जनरल मेडिकल पेशेंट्स भी देखते हैं और नेफ्रोलॉजी रिलेटेड स्पेशल केसेस भी देखते हैं। और फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आपकी कॉल होगी तो आप जनरल मेडिसिन पुलिस के साथ ही आप ऑन कॉल होंगे, तो आप मतलब जनरल मेडिसिन मेडिकल पेशेंट्स भी आप देखेंगे। एंड डेट गोज फॉर एंडोक्राइनोलॉजी और अदर स्पेशलिटीज एज वेल। अगर स्ट्रोक मेडिसिन में आप कर रहे हैं या जीरियाट्रिक में कर रहे हैं तो और भी हैं, और इवन कार्डियोलॉजी भी कर रहे हैं तो आप जनरल मेडिकल पेशेंट्स भी कॉल पे एटलीस्ट आप होंगे।
Thank you, sir.
बिल्कुल।
Thank you so much, everyone, for your active participation and engaging questions. We hope you found this session valuable and informative. Please remember to complete the feedback form that is provided. And before we sign off, I am pleased to announce our next webinar session titled Qualitative Research Study Designs, scheduled for the day after tomorrow, that is August 12th. We are honored to have Dr. Mohammad Imran Murwat, Assistant Professor at the Department of Community Medicine in KMC, as our distinguished speaker. Just join us for an insightful discussion on qualitative research methodologies and study designs. We look forward to your participation and the link of the registration has been shared in the chat box. I will also like to shed light on our upcoming International Research Conference. The International Research Conference is scheduled for 2nd and 3rd of October, and the theme for it is Bridging the Gap Between Classroom and Clinical Avenues. The poster has been shared and is displayed on your screens. The registrations are open, and you can also submit your abstract. With that, today's session has come to a formal closing. Thank you all for tuning in, and thanks once again for our hardworking faculty for these smooth sessions. Special thanks to Director Medical Education PGMI, Dr. Naila Hadi, and we look forward to your participation in the upcoming sessions. Once again, thank you, Dr. Majid, for your time and expertise. This is your moderator, Umar Afridi, signing off. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.